Are you looking to sell your home and buy a new one simultaneously? Well, you've come to the right place. I'll show you how to do it without the stress. Welcome back. Today, I want to show you what's actually happening in real estate. Not headlines, not predictions, real shifts. We're seeing a surge in activity, quiet lending changes, and buyer behavior that most people haven't caught yet. And I'm going to connect it directly to what it means here in Everett and Snohomish County. Because when you understand what's changing, you move with confidence. Be sure to stick around to the end of this video, because I'll be sharing some actionable intel that you can use to achieve amazing results when buying or selling a home. The mission today is clear and pretty specific. We want to see if the macro landscape, this surge everyone keeps whispering about, if it's actually real. NAR Chief Economist Lawrence Yun forecasts a roughly 14% increase in home sales this year. That's double-digit growth. But the leading indicator, or real signal, isn't the sales forecasting, it's the intent. Mortgage applications were already up 31% year over year. That's not curiosity, that's intent. And it's more like a stampede. The wait-and-see period is over. People aren't watching anymore. They're done putting their lives on hold. They're preparing to move. But here's the nuance that matters the most. Prices aren't skyrocketing like they were during the pandemic. They're predicted to rise moderately, maybe around 4%. So we're not looking at a runaway boom where buyers get priced out of the housing market overnight. We're looking at a return to transaction volume, a healthier real estate market. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. Interest rates. If you're waiting for the market to go back to normal, you're already behind. Everyone's been holding their breath, waiting for 3% mortgage interest rates to come back. And if you're a seller sitting on a 2.8% rate, why on earth would you sell just to jump into a 6% mortgage? That math hurts. It does hurt, and I get it. But if you only look at the monthly payment in a vacuum, you're not considering the full picture. You may be asking, what's the full picture then? It's simple. The verdict is in. 3% rates are likely gone. It's not happening. The new normal for 2026 is 6%. And this is actually good news. Why? Because certainty is better than volatility. When rates were bouncing around between 7 and 8%, people were just paralyzed by fear. Now that we've settled into the 6% range, the golden handcuffs start to rust away. Families have outgrown those starter homes. The pain of living in a cramped house with 2 kids and a dog is finally taking over the pleasure of a low interest rate. 6% seems to be the psychological tipping point. It's high compared to 2021. Sure, but it's manageable. It allows buyers to do math, not magic. Stability is better than chaos, and my smooth move-up method was built specifically as a solution for this problem. Now, with my smooth move-up method, move-up buyers have the green light. It creates a transition year where they can plan again and feel comfortable about selling. This boom or surge isn't hitting everyone the same way. Very true. The market didn't come back evenly. It's split. It's a classic case of haves and have-nots. It's a paradox. The have-nots, these are the entry-level, first-time buyers, are still squeezed. They're trying to enter the market, say under $300,000, or in Snohomish County, say under $500,000. They are scraping for inventory that just doesn't exist. They're facing this brutal shortage. We're currently and continually working on solving for this problem. Speaking of which, if you are finding yourself completely frustrated by this brutal shortage of housing options, or if you're in a financial situation where you just need a little extra boost getting across the finish line, doing all the right things in preparing to buy a home. You've worked on improving your credit scores, you have stable income, and still finding yourself struggling to scrape up enough money for a down payment. Well, you're in luck. This is why I encouraged you to watch this video until the end. I've cracked the code by partnering with the right lenders and agencies that can help you by providing down payment assistance options so you can buy a home. Keep watching, because later on, I'm going to give you direction on how to tap into all the available down payment options. Now, back to where I left off. Here we have the haves. These are those equity-rich move-up homeowners. They're in prime position to make a move in 2026. Their problem isn't money, it's timing and logistics. Fear of homelessness is real to this group. In Everett, inventory is improving, but it's still tight. A seller thinks, great, I can sell my home in 3 days and for top dollar. But then what? Where do I go? Who wants to even think of being stuck in a short-term rental? Or, God forbid, moving back in with their parents? Or, on the other hand, if the market softens slightly, then there's the worry of being stuck with 2 mortgages at once. This is why applying my smooth move-up strategy in combination with my proprietary worry-free listing program is the way to go. With my proven strategies, you don't end up homeless, and you don't end up paying 2 mortgages. Now, let's dig deeper into the money side of this equation. Lending quietly changed this year, especially for self-employed buyers. Certain deductions are being added back into qualifying income, which is a game changer. The CFPB has essentially removed the strict 43% debt-to-income cap for qualified mortgages. For the person running a construction business in Snohomish County, this means when they used to hear no, they are now hearing, here's how we can structure this deal. They now have flexibility. That's a massive difference and a competitive advantage we employ strategically to give our clients the needed tools to win in this market. We are also seeing more creativity in the loan products themselves. Adjustable rate mortgages are back. That's right. A well-known national lender is reporting that 10% of their loan volume is now adjustable rate mortgages, or ARMs. But these aren't the toxic, exploding loans of the past. Today's 5-year or 7-year ARM is a strategic bridge. They're structured, transparent, and strategic. This can buy you a lower rate, maybe a full point lower than a 30-year fixed for the first few years. Again, for move-up buyers, these lending changes create flexibility. I mean, if you know you're going to refinance when rates drop, why pay a premium for a product you'll never use? Let's not forget USDA loans, which still offers zero-down options in certain Snohomish areas. These aren't shortcuts. These are powerful affordability tools. If you're curious about ARMs or zero-down options, then we should talk. Let's pivot to the people who are actually buying the homes that the move-up buyers are selling. Introducing the Gen Z buyers. This is what some are calling the pragmatic generation, which is such a shift from the millennials. When millennials entered the market, they wanted the Pinterest-perfect home. Everything had to be renovated. Gen Zs are entering the market with a completely different mindset. They care about wealth building, not everything to be perfect. They want potential. They're willing to buy a fixer and build equity. In fact, 57% more likely than millennials. That means sellers don't need to undertake a $50,000 remodel just to attract a buyer. Availability beats perfection in this market. Bottom line, the Gen Z buyer doesn't want to pay for your renovation tastes. They want to build the sweat equity themselves, which validates the need for my worry-free listing program. Concerned about affordability? That's a huge issue for a lot of buyers. Did you know that Everett is attracting buyers priced out of Seattle? Yes, all with the same lifestyle, without the major price difference. We in Everett and Snohomish County are seeing an inbound flow of people searching for, well, what some may call a Subaru commercial. Visualize tech workers and professionals moving inbound from Seattle, or even from out of state. They want the kayak on the roof, the hiking trails, the rivers, the whole Pacific Northwest lifestyle without the Seattle price tag. But relocation buyers moving to Everett, Washington, or Washington State in general, have a specific anxiety. They don't know the neighborhoods, which ones are safe, which ones are not. This is an even bigger concern for the military families moving to Naval Station Everett. Imagine the stress they might be feeling once they receive their strict PCS orders. They're preparing to deploy. They have a spouse and kids, and they have to pick a house from 2,000 miles away. This is where my VIP Buyer Loyalty Program comes into play. It's more than a marketing slogan. It's like a lifeline where honest, local guidance matters and is needed most. Not hype, not staged videos, real insight. You know, real boots on the ground showcasing all the prime locations that Everett and Snohomish County has to offer. On the flip side, there's the outbound trend. Retirees, they're sitting on massive equity and they're cashing out to move to Florida or Arizona. These are the downsizers. Their pain point is emotional. They're overwhelmed by 30 years of stuff that they've accumulated in their big houses. This is where my smooth move-up method also applies here as well, but it applies to decluttering and timing. It's project management, helping them exit gracefully so they have cash in hand for their retirement. If you're thinking about moving in 2026, don't guess. Have a strategy. Remember, 2026 is a transition year. It's a year of opportunity, but only for those who are strategic. Rates are stable around 6%. Inventory is loosening up, and that pent-up demand is releasing. We are seeing a 14% jump in sales. The surge is real, but it's not a rising tide that lifts all ships equally. No, not at all. The market has split into the haves. The equity-rich move-up buyers, those who have the means, they just need permission. They need someone who can unlock those golden handcuffs and show them a safe path forward. Here's a final thought for you to chew on. In today's market, the role of the real estate agent is fundamentally changing. In 2021, agents were facilitators. They just opened doors and handled the frenzy. In 2026, the agents who win will be strategists. Yes, that's why I go well beyond the norm. I'm not just finding you a house. I bridge the gap between a seller with equity and a pragmatic Gen Z buyer. I solve the financing puzzle for self-employed entrepreneurs when the bank says no. I am the architect of the transition. I created a free 2026 market playbook specifically for Everett and Snohomish County. As promised, I want to offer this powerful resource to you. It breaks down timing, lending tools, and how to move without getting stuck between two homes. Click the link below, download the guide, and if you want a custom strategy conversation, schedule it. Because in a strategy year, clarity wins.